Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is Cinema Historia. A young Irish girl, destination Brooklyn, and new opportunities to forge her future. This week we're going back to 2015 for a romantic period drama film called Brooklyn. Starring Saoirse Ronan, Domhnall Gleeson, Emery Cohen, Jim Broadbent, Julie Walters, and Fiona Glascott. And this is directed by John Crowley. So, where does our Irish tale begin this week? Well, our story begins in the early 1950s in Enniscorthy, a small town in southeast Ireland. Ailís Lacey, played by Saoirse Ronan, lives with her mother Mary and older sister Rose, played by Fiona Glascott. Unable to find full-time employment, she works part-time for the spiteful Miss Kelly at her general supply store. Ailís attends local dances with friend Nancy, but unlike Nancy, is uninterested in the local young men. Sister Rose arranges with Father Flood, played by Jim Broadbent, an Irish priest in Brooklyn, for Ailís to immigrate to New York for a better life. Once aboard ship, after saying their farewells, Ailís meets cabin mate Georgina on the trip over. An experienced traveler returning to the U.S. offers advice and support. Upon arrival in New York, Ailís settles in at a Brooklyn boarding house run by Mrs. Ko, played by Julie Walters, accommodations that cater to young immigrant Irish women. She finds a job at Bartocci's department store, but has difficulty adjusting to her new life and suffers severe homesickness. An understanding Father Flood gets her enrolled in night school bookkeeping classes at Brooklyn College as she wants to become an accountant. Becoming more at ease, Ailís attends an Irish dance and meets Tony Fiorello, played by Emery Cohen, an amiable Italian-American plumber. As the romance begins to blossom and she progresses in her studies, Ailís gradually feels more at home in Brooklyn. Receiving a letter from back home, however, she finds out that Rose has unexpectedly died, tells Tony she must return home to help her mother. Unsure that Ailís will return, Tony asks her to marry him before she goes. Reluctantly agreeing, they secretly marry at City Hall. So, once in Ireland, does Ailís bond with her mother once more? Does she take over Rose's old bookkeeping job? Or does a well-off bachelor persuade Ailís to fall back into her old life and leave her new one behind? Sounds like trouble. There's always trouble every week. Released November 6, 2015 in the UK and Ireland, and November 20th, 2015 in Canada. The film is based on Irish novelist, short story writer, journalist, playwright, and poet Colm Toibin's 2009 novel of the same name. With a 97% rating from the film critic Rotten Tomatoes, this film received 161 nominations, including 3 Oscar nominations and 38 wins. That's a big deal. Brooklyn grossed $38.3 million in North America and $23.7 million in other territories, and was the biggest opening of any Irish drama in Ireland since the film Michael Collins in 1996. Wow. And if they say they don't make movies like this anymore, that's why I'm doing this one on my channel from 2015. Yes, they did 10 years ago. In fact, I took my mother to go see this one and she really enjoyed it, and I think you will too. And our trivia question this week, thanks for reminding me, was there an interesting tube system implemented into this film? Was there an interesting tube system implemented into this film? So, a little more history and the answer to our trivia question coming up next. For history this week, we're going to dive into more of the production of this period film. So, Irish author Com Toibin's idea for the novel came from a childhood memory in which he overheard a woman talk about her young daughter's move from Enniscorthy to Brooklyn. In 2000, he wrote a short story about this memory, which he expanded to a novel years later, after living in the United States, as well as teaching literary courses. Principal photography began in 2014 with 3 weeks of filming in Ireland, partly in Enniscorthy, Count Wexford. Each location used in the town, such as shops and pubs, has pictures of the production in the windows. The city of Brooklyn, New York in this movie was shot in Montreal, Quebec. This 4-week shoot, for budgeting reasons, was used as the production could not turn 2015 Brooklyn back into 1950s Brooklyn. Only 2 days of production were spent in Brooklyn, one to create the brownstone exterior shots and a second to film at Coney Island. Saoirse Ronan's real-life Irish parents, like Ronan's character in this movie, also got married in a quiet town hall ceremony in Brooklyn, New York. Her favorite day on set was filming the scenes at Coney Island, as it was the only time during production her mother could come and visit her. The Irish beach scenes were filmed at Curracloe Strand, northeast of Wexford Town, Ireland, also used for the filming of the D-Day sequence in Saving Private Ryan in 1998. Miss Ronan wanted to keep her green swimsuit from this movie. However, the costume became stuck in a bidding war between councils of Brooklyn and Ireland. Pretty cool. Ailsa's yellow dress is costume designer Odile Dix-Moreau's favorite from the movie. It was bought from a vintage shop in Montreal, Quebec. Saoirse Ronan was getting a manicure in Dublin, Ireland when she discovered that she had received a Golden Globe nomination for her performance in this movie. In her rush of excitement, she bought champagne for everyone in the salon. Pretty cool. This movie has been featured on more than 120 film critics' top 10 lists of the best films of 2015 and was ranked 48th on the BBC's 2016 list of the 100 greatest films of the 21st century. Pretty cool. And how did I know our story is from the early 1950s? Well, 2 films that were mentioned playing at the show in our story were The Quiet Man with John Wayne and Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly. Both films were released in 1952. That's how I know. And the answer to our trivia question this week: was there an interesting tube system implemented into this film? Yes. The pneumatic tube system in the department store where Ailsa works is labeled Adanac, a Canadian company that is still in business in Quebec. Located in Saint-Lambert, Adanac is a leader in design, manufacturing, and installation of air tube systems. Used for healthcare, commercial, and industrial applications, the aim is to minimize the movement of personnel, reducing delays and improving services. Several objects can be sent in sequence simultaneously to different locations, providing faster delivery than a runner or messenger, saving time and money. Isn't that an interesting system? It's really neat. She actually puts money in a little container, and when you send the money away, it comes back with the change and she gives it to the customer. Isn't that cool? I'd like to give a big thank you to my viewers and subscribers this week. And for everyone on the planet watching, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you soon.